Hello, my dear mentees. After a while, how are you doing? Hope you're fine. I just wanted to record this video for you because I know how difficult it is to arrange a meeting at these times and with the time zones difference and stuff. I'll just go I'll just go on with the last presentation that you guys couldn't make it. And in case you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to text me, email me, call me. Less. So this last presentation was about the APA style. That's why it is very important. Talk about the final how to AUA 101 for EC. So what we're going to cover here is, first of all, I'm going to talk plagiarism and how to evade it, and then quoting, paraphrasing, summarizing, all this stuff, and then the APA style steps. So about plagiarism, I really want you to be careful. It's one of the most important things. If you plagiarize, you'll get into trouble. Don't think you're smart. Don't think you're going to, even if you rephrase the entire, I don't know, summary of a 400-page book that you read, still there's a chance that you're probably going to plagiarize. So always cite your information. It relates to your academic integrity. If your instructor is nice, she'll give you an F at least. If it's serious, you're going to get reported um, to the university, and the provost will probably dismiss you. So be careful. Right. So plagiarism and APA style. So what is plagiarism? Plagiarism refers to using some other person's ideas and information without acknowledging that specific person as the source. I mean, just put yourselves in their shoes, right? Like, if you tell a great story, something that moves people, something touching, and someone just takes your story and goes tells the other people and they get credit, wouldn't you be sort of upset? Wouldn't you think that this guy stole your idea? It's a bad thing. APA style, APA stands for American Psychological Association, and the APA style is a writing format for academic documents such as scholarly journal articles and books. So yeah, plagiarism, how to avoid it. Keep in mind to always cite your sources. That's very important. Citing sources, any information you bring from any source cited. Do your own work. Um, in case you want to, I don't know, cite even, right? If your paper doesn't have your input in it, it's a bad thing. If you have like 500 words and you've cited about 200 of them, how is that even your work? So also try to have your words inputted, your ideas, your, objective opinions in a paper instead of, citing information constantly. So own your work. Spend as much time as you can on every assignment. Don't rush it to, I don't know, and I know freshmen love doing this. Don't rush your work to 2 hours before the deadline. And I know it's tough, but just try to be ahead of, the deadlines and stuff. Uh, do not copy. That's the thing that's going to get you into the rabbit hole. If you copy anything from any source, it will be caught. Like Turnitin has a sort of bot inside it that takes, sentences and compares it to millions of other articles or journals or books that are written and posted on the internet. So it will be compared. And if you have, I think more than 10, 15, or I think 20%, depending on your instructor, there will be issues. Self-plagiarism. That's a thing, by the way. If you have written a paper in your freshman year that was very nice, very up to the point, and next year you have to cover something from the same topic, hey, I'm going to submit the same paper. No, that's called self-plagiarism because you didn't work on that paper and you just wanted to evade the assignment using your own paper from last year. Don't do that. You can, though, you can write something from that previous paper and cite yourself. You can reference yourself. That's all right. But self-plagiarizing, avoid it. Always include a reference list. Reference list, importante. Do not have any paper that doesn't have a reference list, unless, the instructor tells you you don't need a reference list. All right. So what are the differences between quoting, paraphrasing, summarizing? So quoting, identical. You just take the same phrase as it is, the same sentence. I don't know. If I've written in my paper, in my book, I have drank a cup of water, you are going to copy, I have drank a cup of water. Not even an apostrophe extra, not even a full stop or a period extra. So the same words used in the source should be quoted in your work. Paraphrasing is about transmission, using your own words to say what the author of the source said without any additions. So paraphrasing is basically, let's take the same example. Armen has drunk a cup of water, right? You can say, Armen took the cup of water and drank it. It's almost the same meaning. You don't change what happened, right? The ideology behind this is that Armen took a cup of water and he drank it. So that's the difference between paraphrasing and quoting. And also, here's the thing, don't try to sort of explain it your way. Like, it's really wrong if you paraphrase what the author said into making it push your own idea. Instead, you should write what the author said and build your idea upon that. Like, you can't just say, Armen's drinking of the water indicates this and that as a paraphrasing. No, that will be part of your essay. But you can use the example before the input that you're going to make. Anyways, summarizing. Assertion. Now, summarizing, it's shortening what the author discusses and emphasizing on the source's main points and ideas. Now, maybe you think that Armen has drunk the water doesn't really have any significance in the entire thingy that, in the essay, that has as much as drunk the water is as important. So what you're looking for is the main point in this sentence, and you want to summarize it. You want to say the water has been drunk. That's all that matters. Like, it doesn't matter who drank it. It doesn't matter. This differs from one paper to another, from one, I don't know, TED talk to another. If you're supposed to summarize these, always look for the main point discussed. Don't discuss, for example, the author's phrase that he has, I don't know, for children. Maybe that's not as significant. So that's what the summarizing, like the key to summarizing is. You have to find the main points. At last, any information you input, cite everything and anything, even if it's just a word, even if it's just, I don't know, I keep bringing this example, even if it's just your grandma saying, garlic cures COVID-19. If you're going to write that down, cite your grandmother. Anyways, always keep in mind, for starters, for APA style, I'll be showing you examples of each of these columns. So format, it has to be Times New Roman, size 12, standard margins, and double spaced. In-text citations, last name of author, year of publishing, pages if it's a book or a journal. A reference list, alphabetical order. This is not important. This is up to your instructor. Now, I always have mine in alphabetical order. Adds a nice little flavor to the paper, just looks organized. Hanging second line, and more to follow while I'll talk about and show you the examples that I've worded here. So for example, the format in this, you can see that everything, even my title page here, is Times New Roman. So how do you put it Times New Roman? You just select the text, you go to home, it's literally right over here, the font name, just click on it, Times New Roman. Right next to it, there's the size, click on it, and select 12. Over here, the margins, you go to layout, the first option on the left, top left, there's margins, keep them normal. That's the standard margin. So these are like, you have to do these every time you write a paper that is in APA style. Next up, the double space. Select the text that you want. An easy way to do this is the way I do it, basically. After you finish writing a paper, just type in Control A, which is going to select all the text that you have written, Command A if you're using a MacBook, and just go to home, over here, right in the middle. So you see right next to this ink bottle, the paint bottle, this, two arrows that signify the spacing between the between the lines, just select it and put double. A little example here. Do you see the difference between these two? One of them is not double spaced, the other is. Why do we need double space? For ease of reading. The instructors are going to read, I think, 30 papers if there is an assignment, at least. So they have to be, kind of comfortable with that. And this is very compressed. So whenever you feel like, you're looking at your paper and the words are inside of each other, remember you're not using double spaced. So next up, the page number. It's not as important, but it is important if you're writing ABA style. Again, ask your instructor if they require that or not. So page number, you go to your header. Now, how do you go to your header is basically you double click on the top of your page, the place where the margins are at. So you double click there and you're automatically at the header, and it takes you to this sort of to this column on top of the Word file. So you have to click on page number, top of page, pick the third option. You want the page number to be on the right. So yeah, if you want to make page number only on the first page, click on different first page over there. Next up, when we look at this, what do we know this? This is what's called a title page. So what is this? What am I writing here? What I'm writing here is the title of my paper in bold, next my name, the department and my university, the name of the course and the number and the code, the name of the instructor and the date. In case your instructor asks you to include a title page, this is, I think, the best format to do so. Over here, you see the start of my paper. So what's the format here is that I have my title again written at the top of the page only once, not every page, only the first time. So in here, we see that every time I start a paragraph, I press tab. The words have to be a little bit inwards at the beginning of each of your paragraphs. So keep that in mind. Also, if you look at here, I've put a link to formatting and style guide for APA. If you guys ever needed to double check stuff, you can go here. Also, there's a thing called abstract in APA. If your instructor didn't ask you for an abstract, and it's pretty early for you to have an abstract. So if your instructor didn't ask you for an abstract, you don't need to have one. Right. If you look at this, for example, my instructor didn't ask me to have a long title page, but she asked to have the credentials on the header. So you might have these here. So what are these? It's basically at the header, you can write a header title, your name, the name of the course, the name of the instructor, and the date. And this will be copied to each paper. You can, again, choose to make the first page different option and only have it on the first page. So in-text citations. When we look at in-text citations, this one, for example, is a direct quote. So when we look at this, after the parentheses here, faculty evaluation, blah, 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 evaluation is guesswork. It's literally how the author has written it. And who's the author? Thiel. After we mention Thiel, year of publication, page number. Another one is Lewis here, but if we notice, there are no parentheses before Lewis. It means this is paraphrased or summarized. Here, we see two authors. Now, sometimes a book might have two authors. So what we do is we mention the last name of the first author and the last name of the second author, year of publication. Over here, we're noticing that this part has multiple sources sort of bound to each other. Now, what we're seeing here is we have Lewis, Gaffin Simpson, and McKeechee. These are not from the same book. Why are they not from the same? If they were from the same book, we would write, for example, like this, or Remers et al. E-T-A-L. So et al, what does that mean? And everyone. It's in French. So Lewis, Gaffin, Simpson, and Mikichi are each from different sources. So this paragraph right here, this few sentences, that means there are collectively taken ideas from each different source. So if you're going to do that, make sure to also source that, to also cite that. Right. When it comes to organizations such as the World Health Organization, in case that it's an organization that is quite known, let's say World Health Organization or UNICEF or UNESCO or all of these, you can write only the first initials that constitute the organization name. But if it's not something known, for example, Global Fashion Monitors Organization. Do we know what is the Global Fashion Monitors Organization? I've never heard of it before. So you have to keep writing it down as a citation. But for the World Health Organization, you can use WHO later on in your paper after you cite it first time as World Health Organization. So keep that in mind. Next up for in-text citations, I've sent you the slides. I'm not going to go over each one of these. I'll just show you how to do some in-text citations on different sorts of sources. So for example, if there is only a title, use the author, organization, or title of the article. Do not use the website address in the text citation. Never copy a link. There will never be a link in your paper. It will be at the end at the reference list. If there is no author, you use the title of the article or the organization. So what if there is no page number? That's fine. Sometimes that's really okay. If it's an online thing, you can write like para 1 or para 2, just like mentioned here, which indicates a paragraph. So this is an example. According to Smith, President Trump has always been a slave to fashion. Trump has always been a clothes horse section, paragraph 1. Up to references. I've also inserted the link here, style, grammar, guidelines, references, examples. Go here to check all the reference examples, because you never know what type of reference are you going to make. Could be anything like a movie, a YouTube video, a book, a journal, a newspaper article, anything. So I've written some of the examples here. You guys can check, for example, news websites, government websites, authored books, all of this. So I'll go through some of them to just give you a concrete example of what a reference should look like. So when we go to, for example, an authored book, so books have to have a DOI. What is a DOI? It's their digital object identifier. And a DOI is usually mentioned online. If you got your book online, you need to write the DOI number of it. If it's something that your instructor has given you, it's a book, it's a part of a book, you don't need to have a DOI for that. If it's a section from a book, you don't have to have a DOI for that. If it's a real book, you don't have to have a DOI for that. So what we notice is we start with the last name of the author, the first initial, the middle initial, and the first initial, if they have middle initials. The year of publication, title of the book in Italian, the publishers, and then the DOI for a book. So if we look at news websites here, we have the last name of the author, the first initial, the year of publication, even the date, like the month and the day, if you have that, more to your credibility. The title, again, in Italian, the publisher, and the link that you got this news website, because it's a website. You have to have the link always inserted. Also, you must use hanging indentation on all references. I'll teach you how to do that in another video. I'll send you guys a tutorial video on how to use citation machine later on this week in case you need it. So do check these. I have sent you the slides. Do check these. Like if you have any specific question, go to this website that I've inserted here, this link, to double check on how to use the references that you need. For any questions, again, don't hesitate to email me, talk to me, call me. I always have my number inserted at the end of each presentation, and you know how to reach me. I mean, surely you have one way or another to text me. So yeah, that's it for this one. Um, Sorry I couldn't do this earlier. You guys know how it's been. And I know it's tough for all of you. I know it's been quite the year, and regardless, stay safe, stay strong. If you need to talk to anyone, I'm here. If you think that you're having major issues, go to counseling. Everything will be okay, hopefully. This too shall pass. Everything is temporary. Most important for you to take care of yourself and stay safe. So yeah, without further ado, thank you. And I know you guys are going to become successful individuals in the future. I have no doubt. And I hopefully will be there one day on your graduation day in the audience, clapping as hard as I can for all of you. So yeah, all the best to you people.